and did every day of training that I did. This is what we just spoke about when the tape messed up before, but I really saw. First of all, I met you at Fight Like a Pro. I went, oh, good on, great. There's a bloke of age doing a fight, a boxing thing. It was your second time too.
You thought an old fella. Be honest.
Well, hey, mate, anyone that does that thing, you just respect it instantly, don't you? You go, here's a bloke, and I go, why is he here? But anyway, I knew that it was your second time around. But where am I getting at? Don't lose your train of thought. But this is what I wanted to say. You're talking about old school diving helmets. All right, isn't it strange? How old's that diving helmet? Like, what sort of era was that?
Well, that went way back to I've got an actual old hand pump that they used to with the big windy wheels, and that went to New Zealand in 1890, and I've still got it in my house, completely restored.
Wow! But even still, that
was back in 1800s.
1800, but that's only 120 years, sort of. Isn't it crazy that you could appreciate this? That you have seen the best of the old days and what it's like today in only 100 years. You can dive now. What did I read the other day? Like, it's a self. It's apparently crap, but they've invented a diving apparatus that breathes the oxygen out of the water.
Okay.
Yeah, they've created it, but it's not as good as everyone wants it to be. You can't just go diving yet with it, but you can just get in this thing, and it turns water into oxygen.
Yeah.
The technology we've seen.
The changes,
Why us, Ray? You know what I mean? Why us? Isn't it great? Like
it's unbelievable. It's great. Now, I remember when I first started there at SeaWorld, and I didn't have any children. I've got 4 children now, and one of them's a son. He's actually a diver at SeaWorld now.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, he wasn't really following my footsteps. It's just the way it turned out. It was a bit of a coincidence. I knew Trevor back in my day, and now my son's working for the same fella.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Mate, we've got friends in the same circles then, because on Saturday night at the boxing, I was sitting opposite a guy called Andrew Mulville, who I was working on rides with. I used to present the 3D Theatre, Pirates, starring Leslie Nielsen, and proudly sponsored by Paul's. You remember that place?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, well, that was my gig, right? But I was working with a guy on rides. We were in the entertainment thing. Well, he's been a dolphin trainer. The next year, he became, so that's 15 years of being a dolphin trainer. Oh. He was sitting next to Maddie from The Block, that TV show, The Block.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing Fight Like a Pro next season.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he was a ski guy in the year 2000.
Yeah.
So, isn't it funny? We're all in the same circles.
Well, we are.
And yeah, but mate, right. So you, from what I read on the net, 1963 perhaps, you started with the Navy.
I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
1967 to 69, they started making the greatest cars in the world. Yeah? Would you... I always look at...
Are you talking about GT Falcons? Or?
I'm talking about the 67 Merc I had. I'm talking about every there's a lot of great cars in those 2 years. Or put it this way, from my born in 72 mind, when I look back at all the crap cars they made in the 80s, and all the style of, like, the women's style, the way, Bewitched, the TV show.
Yeah, I remember that.
What was the lady? She was so beautiful.
Yeah, with the ponytail.
The way they dress and the cars and the whole look, the colour just appeared in TV, and everything seemed amazing. You'd must have been I would like to think, even music, it was sort of like a golden era. That's from my point of view, looking back.
Yeah. Well, my music era is the 50s and 60s, but I like all music, but 50s and 60s rock and roll, that's my go.
Yeah.
But I do know a fair bit about the modern stuff as well, and a band called the Titanics I've been watching a bit lately. I'd like to go and see them live.
It's a good thing, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you play any instruments?
No, I've tried. Yeah. I've been trying to learn guitar for 60 years.
Yeah?
My young fella had a band when he was 16 and they could all play.
Right.
Fair dinkum, there's something missing. I'm doing something wrong.
When did you start?
I started in the Navy, actually, in about 1965 or 66, 67, 65.
Right. At what age then?
I would have been in my early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah. But I just couldn't do it. You know, I learned to play a few chords, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But I haven't given up.
Right.
I haven't given up. That's my next project.
Oh, good, mate. But you know what? I reckon you might be off to a hard start anyway. It's, you know how kids can pick up languages and kids can, you know, someone gave me a guitar quite early and I was quite bored, and my neighbour down the street could already play. It just became my footy in a way, you know. So everyone I meet who tries anything, learn a language, play guitar. Once you get, I think our brains are too clouded with other outside information. You can't just sit in your room for 4 hours and try and learn Louie anymore, you know.
Yeah.
But it might be tough. I'm really interested in that. Like,
but it'll be fun trying.
Oh yeah, mate. Trying. Well, the key is finding someone else that to either play with, you know, or a drummer, you know, and you have to force yourselves. Come on, mate. Every Wednesday we'll meet here, and that's what we're standing in a band room right now, right?
I can see that. Yes,
we force it on ourselves. You know, we get out of the house, and every week we get a little bit better. And it's a second job, and we get a couple $100 out of it when we get a gig. You know, so it's the greatest second job you can ever have, isn't it?
Yeah. As I said, my son, he was in a band at 16, and they played around town here a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah, played at the hotel up the road here somewhere one night.
Crummer Creek Tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah, recently then?
No, probably 8 years ago.
Oh, true. How old is he then?
He's 28 now.
28?
Yeah, they put a band together when they were at school.
Oh, yeah?
Called the Liberty Punks.
The Liberty Punks.
Yeah,
excellent.
Actually, you can Google or have a look on YouTube at some of their songs.
I will.
Yeah, the Liberty Punks.
I will, definitely.
Yeah, Kerry Lastelle. That's my son.
Kerry Lastelle. That's a cool last name, mate. Is that French?
It is French, I believe. It was either French or Spanish, but French is winning. Yeah, there's not a lot of them around.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks like I did a little search on it because I thought, where's your history then? And it appears, and I could be totally wrong, but if you split the Lastelle, it appears like Lastelle is in association with Lastelle.
Well, in French, LA is the Stella, or Stella's Star.
I think it's Star, yeah.
The Star.
Yeah.
Well, except I'm not that because I couldn't play guitar. But when I grow up, I'm going to be a teenage idol.
Yeah. Mate, you could, what's your next challenge then?
Being a teenage idol. Just kidding. But I'm going to really try and learn that guitar. I'm just putting a nice PA system together as we speak.
Really?
Yeah, you got some good stuff.
Have you?
Yeah.
Vintage gear?
No, all new, still in the box.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just
you know, they still rate vintage gear.
Well, you know, I see some bands and they've got these old Fender amps, valve amps, and old guitars, and they just love the sound of that.
Yeah, it's better. I mean, everyone who's been playing for 10 years just still acknowledges that a great old Vox amp, Marshall amp, Fender is still the business. Like they built something in the 60s. There you go.
Yeah,
and you just can't beat it. The only thing, just all the little connections, the little knobs get all noisy, you know, so you constantly have to maintain these sound pots. But, isn't it crazy? Again, all that technology you know, the things these kids can do now, with music and pedals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's sort of.
I was watching a band only not too long ago. It was a 2-piece, and I heard this trumpet, and I thought, geez, that sounds good. It sounds like it's almost there. And I said to the fella after it, I said, geez, that trumpet effect sounded good. I said, how did you put that in? He says, I was playing that on the guitar.
Yeah.
He said he was playing the guitar and he had some machine that changed the sound to a trumpet.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
It's nuts. Yeah. Seriously nuts what they can do. And I'll bet you what he did before he started playing trumpet is with another pedal, and I wish I knew the name, it'd make it much better. Play the rhythm. Click the pedal, and it will remember. Click this other pedal over here, change the guitar to a trumpet.
Yeah, no, it was a really good effect.
Yeah, some of these kids are really good at that stuff. But, you know, I saw a great TV show recently, and I suggest you watch it, actually. It's a really good thing called Sound City. And Sound City was a recording studio in LA, a really run down, as if it was in Currumbin, just an industrial estate.
Yep.
But pretty much every great record from the late 60s, everything from every Fleetwood Mac song, Jesse's Girl, like pretty much everything from Nirvana's big hit, like a million of the great songs came from this little industrial. They never changed the carpet. They didn't do anything, but they had a Neve desk, one of these analog recording desks that was 60s, built in the 60s desk, and they only made a few of them, but they were expensive as hell, you know. Where am I going with this again, Ray?
Well, we're into the music here and the old gear.
Yeah.
The old equipment.
But so the kids now can click on pedals and create all these sort of good things. But what they get at the end of this movie, and it goes a lot for just normal human behavior, is you can sit in your bedroom and create a record now, right? Yep. You can have these pedals that do all these sort of things, and it sounds unreal, but there is nothing greater than looking another bloke in the eyes, a stranger even, and once you're, oh my God, you lock into a bit of a groove. It could be the easiest thing to play in the whole world, but there becomes this magical moment where you're jamming.
Yep.
And you're not doing anything flashing, but it's just gone from clutter to wow, you know, and that'll never go away. You know, technology can bring us all these easier things, but the art of just doing things simple is so magical and locking in together, you know. That's great to know.
Yeah.
That's great.
Times have certainly changed. I was recently in Sun Studios, actually, in Memphis, only about a month ago, or 2 months ago. That's where Elvis started, and Johnny Cash and Jerry Lee and all those, Sun Studios in Memphis. Yeah, I had a bit of a tour of that, and then went on to the Elvis Presley house, in Gracelands, and a bit of a tour. And spent a bit of time in Nashville, up and down the bars, watching all the musos. Really good.
Did they keep Sun City like it was? Like, is it like a
Sun Studios? It was empty for years and years, and then someone's sort of taken over, and they've just left it as it was. And
great.
Well, you have a bit of a tour, and it just shows you how it was. It's still got the cardboard and that all over the walls for the sound and that. A lot of the old equipment's there on show, but no, it was a real interesting tour.
Wow. I remember how they made records. I remember a great Elvis movie with Patrick Swayze. I think he was Elvis. And they spin the vinyl, but they're throwing some sort of, they make the record as you, that'd be really, what about Graceland?
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, it was a bit
gaudy. No?
Yeah, it was, but just the feeling of being there, knowing Elvis was here, and it was just a little bit eerie, I suppose might be the word, or it was an experience rather than just looking at his house.
I get you.
When you're in there and you're thinking, well, hang on, he was here and he was sitting there and he was doing this, and but it was well worth the visit. The house wasn't as big as I thought. Like Gracelands, it's you look at the photos, very nice. It was a huge property, but the house just seemed a bit smaller to me than I imagined. But it was, you could see he had a bit of money at the time.
Yeah.
A couple of his aeroplanes were there over the road as well. His private planes. And yeah, no, it was.
That'd be like a time capsule.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was.
Yeah, so I can imagine feeling creepy.
Yeah. You know, just knowing Elvis is his house, I felt like I was intruding a little bit, I think, possibly.
Yeah.
But it was a good experience.
I wonder if, okay, let's think about that one for a minute. Imagine you're Elvis, you know, this is your house, and yep, bang, you've done something and you're gone, okay?
Yep.
But so they instantly, the world goes crazy and they block off this house. The Priscilla or the nearest family have gone through and I don't know, taken his personal gear away and all that sort of stuff. And then it became a tour almost instantly, but perhaps little do they know that Elvis stuffed musical, like song words in this little crack in the wall. I wonder if that's in the future, hey?
Yeah, well, you wouldn't know.
No.
You just wouldn't know. Yeah.
I heard this great story the other week about Prince, right?
Prince
Prince.
that never gives interviews.
Never gives